Hey guys, and welcome to the Get a Life podcast. Last month, we focused on Musou games and like Samurai Warriors, Dynasty Warriors, that kind of stuff. This month, I did promise that we'll be focusing content on Personas, but I just want to thank Koch Media and also Atlas for providing us with review copies of the game. So before we get into that, I just want to start this episode off with a thanks to our sponsors Japan Crate, Crunchyroll, and J-List. You may be hearing some ads throughout the episode. In addition to that, I think we should introduce our guest. Today we have Sapphire. Sapphire, say hello.
Hi, guys.
This is the first time speaking to Sapphire, so it might be quite awkward, but I really want you to explain to people who don't know what you do.
I sing anime and game song covers. I try to sing mostly in English. Actually, that's all my channel is comprised of, are English covers. I'm mostly known for my Persona covers. I've covered songs from 3, 4, and 5. And recently I released my EP for Persona 5 Royal and Persona 4 called The Velvet Lounge 2.
So the way that this episode is going to work for you guys listening, we're going to do a quick sort of overview on the Persona games that we've played. And then from there, we'll go in and talk about other stuff. So let's start with that. When did you get into Persona?
Oh, man. The first Persona game I played was Persona 3 FES. It was Persona 3 FES. I don't exactly remember when that game came out, but I think I had heard like talk from friends about how great Persona 3, the original game, was. And my sister and I had finally got like a PS2 to originally play Dragon Quest VIII, and I found that to be a good opportunity to play FES. And I don't particularly remember liking it because I remember I got stuck on a boss, and there was like no way for me to like leave the battle or like restart from like my last save point in Tartarus to grind some more. So I knew my only option was to restart the game from the beginning. And I wasn't happy about that. I wasn't too happy about that, but I think like maybe a year or so later I was just like, let me just see if I can, start over and just finish the game. And I finally did, and I was just like, what was this game even about?
But it got you hooked, right?
It did. I love the music. That was what actually got me into the game, the whole Persona series. The music from 3 is probably my most favorite. So while I may not have liked 3 that much, I definitely love the music.
I think the music for me in Persona 3 was a highlight. The game itself wasn't really the best, because I played FES and I played The Answer. I've also played Portable, and I prefer Portable to all of them, just because you can play as a female pro tag and you get new social links, which is kind of very interesting.
Did they change anything about the story in that? I don't, probably not. They just added like the female MC.
The story slightly changed. So that some characters that die don't die anymore. Like, you know how Shinji died, right?
Right.
He doesn't die if you're playing as a female protagonist, if you complete his social link. It's weird like that, but it's pretty interesting. It's not a canon story to the game. It's just something fun just to, I don't know, I think they maybe added in a female protag and all those new social links because the PSP is not really a powerful console, and they really wanted to focus in on the visual novel aspect, because you can't really explore in that game or anything like that. But it also, I prefer it to the original Persona 3 only because you can actually control your teammates, which is pretty cool. And also Yukiko makes an appearance in that game, only briefly.
Really? Huh, that's weird.
I think the way that it works is that they go and visit the high school. I think they go and visit Gakugan, or whatever the school's called. And you see Yukiko is like, I think she's like 13 or something. She makes like a really young appearance. She's there with her mom.
Okay, I wondered about the timeline there. I was just like, so does Persona 4 and 3 like happen around the same time or something? But no, I guess not.
I don't know. It's just like, for me, 3 was an odd game, but I would say it's my favorite. That's just it's an unpopular opinion though, because a lot of people love 4, a lot of people love 5, and I kind of feel ashamed sometimes. I'll just give some backstory on how I got into Persona. I got into Persona by actually watching Persona 4 the animation. I didn't own a I owned a PS2, but I wasn't gonna buy the game because it was so hiked up in price for some reason.
Really?
It was like 50, 60 pounds. And I was like, I'm not going to buy that game. It's so stupid. It's so expensive. I'm not going to do that. I'm not cheap or anything. Ironically, what I did was I ended up buying a PlayStation Vita, brand new and golden. So I ended up spending a lot more. I spent like $300 compared to like $60.
They were going to get your money somehow.
They were, and I don't regret it, to be honest with you. That's the only reason to buy a PlayStation Vita at the moment, or ever, to play Golden. But I watched the anime, I loved it, and I was like, this is amazing shit. And then I was lucky enough to speak to Erin Fitzgerald, the voice of Chie. The second voice of Chie, not the original voice of Chie. I spoke to her and I saw the passion that she had in playing Chie and stuff, and she was just so excited about it. And I was like, you know what, I'm going to buy a PlayStation Vita and I'm going to play Golden just to hear her voice Chie. And I did not regret it. I love that to me. But I was kind of shocked at first because I didn't really understand what the game was about, this whole fusion thing and all of this. And Igor with his long nose kind of freaked me out a bit. I used to get nightmares at one point. I don't know. It was just kind of weird for me. But going back and playing Persona 3, because obviously playing portable and everything, it makes Persona 4 look like Scooby-Doo, and the investigation team looks like what do you call it? Like the
Mystery Inc. Scooby-Doo, the Mystery.
That's it. It kind of felt like that because
they are. That's what they are.
I can't take them seriously. I know that there's a lot of serious elements within Persona 4, but Persona 3 is just a lot more dark. And the fact that you can only go in, to the dungeon at nighttime, it just adds to the whole eerie nature of the game, which I thoroughly enjoy. Also, I just can't take Persona 4 seriously anymore. But there are some points within Persona 4 that I can't deny. They kind of make my heart race, and moments that I just kind of quit the game. Like, I actually quit Persona 4 Golden, and even the anime because of Nanako.
No. What?
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. But that's why I love the game so much. I totally related to Nanako, and I think that's why, I enjoyed. That's why Persona 4 was my favorite, I think, of the three.
Okay. I didn't expect you to say 4 that was your favorite, but still, to be honest with you, I love Nanako as a character, and for me, I have to say, Nanako makes me feel like this motherly feeling. Like, it makes me want to be a mum. I don't know why. I just feel like that. I don't want to get really personal into it, but it's just like a lot of the things that happen in her life, it's like a mirror effect onto my life. And then obviously when I saw her dying, I was just like, fuck this. I can't watch.
Yeah, that was hard. Her dungeon was pretty intense.
Her dungeon was intense, but just the fact that she was in hospital dying, I found that out when I was watching the anime, because I was watching it with my twin sister. As soon as she got into the hospital, I was like, fuck this. If Nanako dies, I'm out of here. And Nanako died, I was like, fuck. Me and my sister stopped watching in protest, and we were like, no, fuck this. And then it came to a point where in the middle of the night, she would actually open the door to my room, and then she would just be like, big bro. She would do that, the Nanako voice, and it would give me nightmares, and she's doing it on purpose.
Oh no.
Because she knows that I was upset about it.
awful.
I know, but it's hilarious because I did the same.
Okay,
with
well,
her, so.
I mean, I can't feel bad.
It's hilarious though. I actually I found it funny. I mean, looking back at it at the time, it made me really upset because Nanako is the best character in the game, most well written. It was interesting. Now, Persona 5, what do you think about it?
I enjoyed it. I bought it. I definitely pre-ordered it when they first announced it, and it was available for pre-order. And then, of course, they delayed it, I think, by a year or something. It was something weird.
Well, it got delayed. I think the game came out in 2016. They announced it in 2014, so it got delayed 2 years.
Yeah, whenever the pre-order happened. But I started the game, and I think I might have finished the first dungeon, or the first palace. Sorry, I can't call it a dungeon. Well, it is.
You can call it a dungeon. To me, I still call it the Confidant social links. I can't be bothered with all these new terms they're throwing at me. So you can call it a dungeon. It's fine.
I did that, and then for some reason I stopped playing for maybe a year, and then I started streaming maybe around 2018, late 2018, and people were like, why don't you play Persona 5? And I was like, you know what? I think that's the only way I'm gonna finish this game is if I just stream it. And I did, and I think I had fun streaming the game. I'm not really sure I thought it was a great game, but I did enjoy it. I liked all the new things they brought, the UI and just the whole aesthetic and the style of music. It felt at that point oh, okay, Shoji Meguro has put his style of music in place. It was kind of set in stone for 5, because I feel 3 was experimentation, and 4 was just kind of okay, we're getting somewhere, and 5 was just this is it, this is the guy, this is what he wants. and I love the music in 5. think it's one of the best. But I thought it was fun. I can't say it was like my favorite Persona. Like I still think 4 is my favorite. But as far as the story goes, I think maybe Royal might change my mind about that though. A lot of people have been telling me that, so I'm looking forward to playing that.
I don't want to spoil Royal for you because it's unfair to do so because I know some people are spoiling it online. Don't do that, by the way, if you spoil games online, you bastards. All I'm going to say is Royal is a mindfuck because when you get to the third semester, because there's only an additional content, like it's like 20 hours long. It's not that long, but it's a right mindfuck. Like I was shocked when I heard about it and I was like, fuck, like what is this game? But with Persona 5, I think it's very interesting because I played it originally. I got the game 2 months before release because they gave us a review copy and we weren't allowed to tell anyone that we even had the game. Like Atlas are very strict with their IP.
Oh, yeah.
And we weren't allowed to stream. We weren't even allowed to produce content, and the review had to come up at a certain time, no earlier. It was kind of weird like that. But knowing all this information and playing the game, it kind of made me feel very anxious because you get hit with a lot of stuff from the beginning. Right, with the whole Kamoshida's palace, right?
Yeah,
that is an intense, like the story behind that, and then Shiho trying to kill herself because of what happened. It's so much to handle. Like this is kind of advice for anyone that is playing Persona 5. I suggest taking breaks after certain events happen in the game. Like maybe step back because sometimes I did that because it felt like too much is going on at one time, and that's not a bad thing. It's just like there's a lot of topics that is being discussed and a lot of things that can get very depressing and very serious. So you kind of need to like go back. Maybe play Persona 4, go back to that whole mystery machine.
Yeah, finish Nanaka's dungeon maybe. You should feel a little better.
It's just too serious for me, but for some reason when you play more of it, like from what I found about it doesn't feel serious enough, even though the topics are very serious, like because obviously Shiho being sexually assaulted and stuff, that's a very serious topic. Because obviously you're going out and you're having fun, you're going on roller coasters, you're talking to girls in churches, that kind of stuff. It's like it feels very whimsical at the same time.
Yeah, you're just like all this like awful stuff is happening behind the scenes, and hey, we're gonna party, once the sun comes back up. I don't know, it's kind of weird, but also like I see what you're saying. I guess I never really thought about it that way. Just interesting that you brought that up.
The reason why I brought it up is because Persona 3 it's serious, but it's not as serious, yet it feels to me like a darker, more sinister game. I don't know how to explain it. It's like Persona 3 is Batman and Persona 5 is Superman, right? Superman still goes through a lot of shit and he goes through a lot of depression, but Batman saw his parents die, and that's a big thing. It kind of feels like that just because of the tone of the game.
The tone, yeah. Persona 3 is definitely the darkest one, I think. Maybe that's why I didn't like it as much. Everything was just sad.
The one thing for me that made me really upset was the fact that the main character just died.
Yeah, I wonder if Atlas was just like, hey, we shouldn't do this anymore. If you can have like sad endings, but let them be like happy too. This one was just like, oh, he's just dead.
I felt that way within Persona 5 because originally I made the wrong choice at the end of the game. Where you have to rat out your friends and stuff in the interrogation room.
Yeah, I didn't even know. That interrogation was kind of weird. I was just like, how do I answer some of these questions? I didn't know like what she was trying to get at.
Yeah, well, basically she's trying to make you like bait out your friends and be like, oh, they're the Phantom themes. And that's the first thing I did because I assumed that, okay, if this is like real life, if I am a snitch, yeah, right, I can get out with a plea deal. Maybe go to jail for like 2 or 3 years as opposed to like for life or something. So I thought, you know what, I'm gonna snitch out my friends, fuck my friends, right? And then Akechi comes in and shoots me in the head and I'm like, is this the game? Like, is this how the game ends?
Snitches get stitches.
I can't deny that. It was just like, what the fuck? And then I had to reload the game and then I did the proper thing and I was like, oh, okay.
I think I accidentally like got the questions right. Everyone was trolling me saying like, oh, she got the bad ending, and I honestly believed them because I was just like, I have no idea what's going on. Like, am I saying the right things? Because I was just like, I'm not playing this game over again. So I wanted to get everything right.
That's a question I want to ask you. Do you have multiple save files? just in case that does happen.
I think I only have like 3 on there. Did I have one for like right before that interrogation? I'm not quite sure.
To be honest with you, I only roll with 1 save file now because I used to have multiple save files for Persona 4, and I spent like at least maybe 350 hours in that game. And then one day my sister was going in and she was trying to load her save because they were right next to each other, and she saved over my save. 300 hours just gone.
The most recent one, the one that mattered, not the others.
Yeah, and that upset me because I lost all my personas. I had to play the whole game again, and then it kind of made me think, like, do I really want to go through the Scooby-Doo game another time? And just, it doesn't seem fun. Now I'm playing it again, but that's because Persona 5 Royal is fucking me over, like, so much. The reason why is because I played the Okumura Palace again. That palace, I hate that palace. It's the shittest palace.
Remind me what palace that was.
It was Haru's dad. Yeah,
Oh
the Burger Palace. That's the worst one. It's like they managed to fuck it up even more in Royal because it's just so difficult, and obviously you have that time limit. And I'm like, what is this? It's just so annoying.
Great. There's no skip feature on that.
There isn't. Well, if there was, then I just would have skipped all of it. And I'm playing on Merciless, so it's like the most difficult mode. And it's just like, why am I doing this to myself? Like, I felt bad about it. Because
you like to suffer.
Maybe, you know, Persona 3 kind of instilled that in me, so that is probably why.
Yeah.
The game in itself is kind of weird because with Royal, like, you have to start the game from the beginning. Like, you can't transfer save data, you can't transfer personas over. You have to start from the whole beginning.
Right.
So building up that compendium is just it's a fuckery. Like, I don't want to build up the whole compendium again, and then they give you the DLC for free, even though I bought all that DLC in 5. I was like, fuck, what is this? I felt it was a bit of a cop-out, but at least it's not like Japan. Japan still has to re-buy that DLC, which is, you know, I think we got it a little bit better than them. I just want to know, before we go on to the break, who is your favorite character in each Persona game that you've played?
All right, I'm going to start with 5. That's going to be Makoto.
Is there a reason? I'm interrogating you now.
It's so funny though, because I swore to everyone that like I didn't like her. I was just like, oh, she's just like, because like when you meet her early on in the game, she's like this huge bitch, and I'm just like, why does anyone like her? Like, is this her character? This is who like I'm gonna have to be stuck with? You know, I don't want to recruit her. And then I got to know more about her, and I was just like, I feel you so much, girl. Like, I love you. You're a badass. You are the queen. But yeah, I just love her. I don't know. Like, she's probably like the only person in the game that I kind of relate to. Persona 4 Chie is.
Yes.
She's so
funny.
Thank you. Chie is a sweetheart. She's so funny. I love her. I don't know. Like, I shouldn't have to explain why I like Chie. She's just like the best girl in the game. Thank you so much. And then 3. Am I going to say her name wrong? No, hold on. Let me think about it a little more. It may be Mitsuru. Is that her name?
Yeah, Mitsuru. Yeah.
Woo! It's just like, just because, I don't know. Like, I love badass women in video games, so.
For me, I'll be honest with you, Mitsuru kind of annoys me a little bit.
Oh my god. Next thing you're going to tell me is that Fuuka's your favorite.
Oh my god. How did you know? I love Fuuka, man. I love Fuuka.
My friend got offended when because he's in the middle of playing 3. Or no. I think we had like some sort of discussion about Persona 3, and he was just like, I love Fuuka. And I was just like, nope.
I want to know why.
She's
before we go into break, I want to.
She's so boring.
No, but she's Fuuka. That's what's about her. She likes to cook. That's interesting, right?
I don't care. Doesn't the kid cook? Doesn't Ken cook? Is his name Ken?
No one gives a fuck about Ken and his stupid dog. Like, fuck off. I don't want him in the game.
I mean, I don't care about him, but I think at least he's like more interesting. If I had to,
are you saying he's a better character than Fuuka? Sapphire, I'm regretting this recording, man.
Look, if I had to kick one of them off the island, it would probably be Fuuka. You know.
Island. This isn't Love Island, all right?
My imaginary island of survivors.
I don't know how to explain this. If I knew that this was your opinions on Fuuka, I wouldn't have had you on today.
I mean, shouldn't you use that as you should introduce questionnaires to your potential interviewees.
Yeah, I'm going to start doing that. Do you like Fuuka, yes or no? And then if someone says, who's Fuuka? I'm like, no, get out of here. No, we don't want you. Fuuka's the best character. She's just a meme. She's a living meme.
She's so boring.
Yeah, but that's what makes it interesting.
She's so useless. It's
oh,
just
whoa.
I don't even think I maxed out her social link. Oh, yeah, I don't think so. It's just I don't care.
There's a joke that goes on within this podcast called Fuuka Bazooka. I'm not sure if you know about. Well, you probably don't. But Fuuka Bazooka, man, Fuuka Bazooka. Oh my God, Fuuka Bazooka. Fuuka's just the best character.
Maybe you should just cut to that break then.
Oh wow. Okay, so we're gonna cut to a break and then come back and
Fuuka stands.
You know what? Okay. We're going to go on a break. We'll see you guys in a bit. Let's talk about Japan Crate because they are sponsoring this episode of the podcast. Remember, if you're interested, go to www.getalifepodcast.com/Japan Crate. That should redirect you to the Japan Crate website. It does help us out as well, so make sure you go and check them out. Let me talk about it. Let me tell you what it's all about. Japan Crate is this wonderful box that you get every month filled with Japanese sweets and goodies, crisps, chocolates, candy, drinks, everything. And stuff that you might not even expect. Like a couple of times we've been getting bags of Kit Kats, Japanese Kit Kats that have exclusive flavors. So we've had sweet potato, we've had ojicha, we've had a lot of crazy flavors that you only get in Japan. That's stuff that you're not going to get outside of Japan. And I know what you're saying, well, I could just buy Kit Kats from my local Japanese supermarket. You're wrong, okay? Because they don't have the flavors that Japan Crate has. Because Japan Crate has the regional flavors that you're not going to find outside of Japan. They're going here and there and everywhere to get those for you. Also, if you're buying from your local supermarket, it's going to be expensive. And I've often found that you're paying 15 to 20 pounds for a bag of Kit Kats imported directly from Japan. You could be paying 30 pounds a month and getting a lot more. Most of the times when they do include Kit Kats in the Japan Crate, I feel that you're getting a lot more value. They don't need to put that in there. They're putting that in there. They're putting in exclusive drinks. We've had stuff like Japanese Pepsi, crazy J-Cola from Japan. We've had Hokkaido melon soda, which is made from these special red melons in Japan that are really expensive. They're like thousands of dollars to buy these melons. Japan Crate is including drinks with those melons in the crate. So it's really good value. And you get to experience some new things. I personally love it. As you guys can tell, we're going to include it more in other episodes of the podcast, in particularly Umai. So go check Umai out as well because we'll be doing taste tests there and things like that. Go to getalifepodcast.com/Japan Crate. Use the code GALP for $3 off your first Japan Crate. Believe me, you guys are going to love it. You're going to be subscribed to it for the rest of your lives because it's top notch. We often give them as gifts to our friends that we record with. So we gave some to Koei, we gave some to Marvelous. You know why? Because we love them and we thought, what better way to give someone a gift than the Japan Crate? You can give it as a gift for a birthday. Someone's going to enjoy that. I've not met someone who hasn't liked the snacks in Japan Crate. And they're weird and they're quirky and they're really nice. You get exclusive Cheetos and stuff. It's insane. The amount of value that you're getting, $35, is nothing for the amount of candy that you're getting directly imported from Japan. GetLifePodcast.com/Japan Crate. Do the right thing, guys. Buy it. And actually show me on Twitter you opening your Japan Crate. I would love to see that. And hopefully we'll get giveaways coming up soon. We're in the process of redoing that. So go and check them out. You support the podcast when you do. Love you guys. Hello. This episode of podcast is brought to you by Crunchyroll. Crunchyroll.com/Kunai. We do love Crunchyroll here. In fact, we use it a lot for the podcast, as you guys know, and we encourage you guys to go and check out anime, especially watching legal sources of anime. You support the industry when you watch on Crunchyroll, and you get the largest lineup of anime ever. There's more than 2,000 anime on Crunchyroll that you can watch right now if you go and sign up to our link, which gives you 14 days of Crunchyroll premium service. And what that premium service offers you is anime without ads, 1080p HD, and you can watch it on everything almost. Your PS4, your Xbox One. You can watch it on the Wii U if you still own one. You can watch it on PC, Mac, iOS, Android, even on Chromecast and Apple TV, Roku, everything. Personally, I love casting from Chrome onto my TV to watch Crunchyroll. It's amazing. Crunchyroll offers the most diverse collection of anime straight from Japan, each season bringing you the best new anime from Japan to give you that largest lineup of anime ever. Remember, if you are a big fan of simulcasts, you're getting anime 1 hour after release in Japan, which is insane. That means if you're watching My Hero Academia, whatever season that we're on now, as soon as it hits Japan, you're getting it 1 hour later, so you don't really need to waste your time with spoilers on Twitter. You can watch it straight away if you wanted to. That's what I love about Crunchyroll, and I'm sure you guys will love it too. Go to www.crunchyroll.com/kunai for a 14-day free trial of Crunchyroll Premium. I know you guys are not going to regret it, because I haven't. Thank you, Crunchyroll, for sponsoring this episode of the podcast. We are back. I found out that Sapphire hates Fuuka, and I don't really want to talk about it because I'm a bit upset. You know, I
feel like 90% of Persona 3 fans don't like Fuuka.
Really?
I think so.
Okay.
I feel like all of my friends like didn't like Fuuka when I was playing the game, and I was just like, you have every right to not like her. She's so boring. And I feel like people just like her because she's like cute. I'm cute, soft spoken, and I like to cook for my senpais. And it's like, great. Okay.
Look, the boringness is very interesting to me, and the fact that she's just become a meme. Like, you might have seen that meme of her saying, "Use me Patra" on Akihiko senpai. Like, you know, that's cool. I find that hilarious. Also, the fact that she looks so derpy. Like, her like artwork is just, she just looks so confused all the time.
She's got a fat head. She looks like a Code Lyoko character.
You know what? Okay, I don't want to talk about Fuuka anymore because it's really upsetting.
Oh no. I thought
okay.
you were ready to talk about Fuuka, but I guess not.
You know, Fuuka is like my
typical Fuuka stans.
Okay. I'm actually regretting this recording now.
She's a Code Lyoko character.
Okay, can we move on from Fuuka?
Yeah,
can we do that? Is that possible?
I'm like looking at pictures of her, and I'm right. Oh, it's all right.
Transition from Fuuka. I'm still upset about that. The transition from Fuuka. I want to talk about the Him Daisy dub project that you and a couple of other voice actors were doing.
Oh,
Can you care to talk about how that kind of started? Because just to clarify, that you are not the artist. You have nothing to do with the actual creation of the comic itself, right?
No, I just did the audio mixing. I put the cast together. My friend Anthony Sardina put the videos together, I think, up until part 3 or 4 or something. But yeah, there was this old voice acting community I was a part of way back in the day, and the Persona 4 comic, the Hime Daisy comic, was kind of circulating in the community, and I was just like, hey, I love Persona 4, and I think this comic is hilarious. I want to dub it. Me! And so it was pretty easy to get a cast together. My friend Chris Zambellis, actually, he gets all the credit for helping me like figure out timing and everything, because I was pretty bad at that. I think all I wanted to do was like mix in music and like sound effects, because that was just the thing I loved doing at the time. And as far as like when we got all the voices together, I would send him like an initial mix. He's the one who voiced Yukiko in the dub.
Wait, Yukiko was voiced by a guy?
Yeah, up until like her dungeon or whatever. I think it was, like after her dungeon, it was actually voiced by like.
Can I just confirm about the Yukiko thing? Because my favorite line in that whole dub is the whole Yukiko Amagi is wearing I'm wearing a kimono. Yeah, that whole bit.
That's him.
Oh, I need to meet this guy. This guy's a fucking legend.
He's great. He has a Twitter account. He's a very funny guy. I love him. But yeah, he was the one who actually like set the I guess not really the tone, but like how the comedic timing would be in the comics.
So you would say he's like the director of the whole thing, right?
Maybe not the director, because I think he just helped me out in part 1, and then I was just like, okay, I kind of get where you're going. Like it should be like he was just like it should be fast paced, and I was just like, okay. So I'll remember that for the remaining parts, and so he was my mentor for that first dub. Yeah, he was my senpai.
Pretty cool. You know, there's a lot of things that I remember about the dub, obviously, because I just found out maybe a couple of weeks ago that you were involved in that. And from the beginning, I'm kind of starstruck at the moment, because this was actually a precursor before even me buying a PlayStation Vita to play the game, because I've seen the anime, and then the first thing I wanted to do was re-find certain scenes on YouTube, you know, from the anime and whatnot. And then the dub came up, and I was like, what the fuck? And I think the first thing I remember was, you know, that there was that scene, I think in the first thing, where it was like, oh man, but I love dead bodies. Mom, I'm hungry. That bit. It was just too much. Like, there's a lot of like, I get it. Like, you're not writing the scripts or anything, but it's the way that you guys voice it. It was just a Mamma Mia spicy meatball. I really enjoyed that. Genuinely. Who did you voice within that? Just so I know, because I have a feeling that you voiced certain characters.
Well, it was definitely that kid who was just like, Mom, I'm hungry.
You voiced the kid?
Yeah.
Yes.
I feel like that dub was like the first time I ever got to just like go all out with like just weird ass voices. I voiced Chie, obviously, and then I voiced what was that asshole girl's name? The one that what's his name?
Saki Senpai.
Yes, I voiced her too. and then Margaret. Yeah, those four.
Margaret. I'm trying to remember who Margaret is. She's the Velvet Room assistant, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, quick question. Who's your favorite Velvet Room attendant?
I think it's the twins.
Okay.
Yeah,
not Lavenza. You don't like Lavenza, but you like the twins.
She was only there for like a moment. So I don't know them. I don't know her, but I know my twins.
So which twin is the favorite? Caroline or Justine?
Which one's the one with the bite? Who's always like?
I think it's Justine, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Actually, is
whoever has the mouth.
The angry one.
Yeah. She's my favorite.
Okay, I agree with you. I do like them. They're interesting. I would say somewhat. I kind of like. I'm trying to remember his name. Theodore. He was quite nice.
He was golden, wasn't he?
No, Theodore was portable. Persona 3 portable. Golden was Margaret.
Oh, really? I thought, okay.
He kind of gets shit on a lot. They bully him. His sisters, basically. They make fun of him, but he's interesting. I'm trying to remember now. Yeah, so what was the process in getting all those people, and how did you cast them? Did you have someone in mind? You're like, oh, that guy's perfect for Dojima or stuff like that. Like, how did you get them together? And was it done in a one call, or was it like recorded in separate bits and you just mixed it all together? How did that work?
So I don't really remember too much about the casting process. I think there was like a few people I had in mind for like some of the main characters. I think I knew for sure that I wanted to cast my friend Josh as Dojima. I just thought that was perfect, and my friend Wai Cheng is Adachi. And then Chris is, well, I don't think I had anything in mind for Yukiko. I think he just like auditioned for her, and I was just like, yeah, let's just do it. But I did hold auditions for some of the characters in that voice acting community, and a lot of people showed interest, so it wasn't too hard to get a whole group together. But no, we didn't do anything in a call. I would basically just type up the entire script with like some directions on like kind of how I wanted things to like be voiced, and I would send it out in an email and give everyone a deadline and like some guidelines and all that stuff, and they would send it back, and I would just work with whatever I got. If I needed to do retakes, I would email and be like, hey, can you do something more like this rather than this? And at that time, Chris, the guy who voiced Yukiko, helped me with like timing and stuff like that, and I think things got better from there. And later we held auditions for like some of the later characters, because I didn't think the dub was gonna like pop off like it did. But I was just like, well, 10,000 views, that's a lot. That was a lot at the time. But I was just like, okay, I guess I'm just gonna dub the whole comic, and I just held auditions whenever I needed to. But for the most part, I think I tried to just reach out to the people I knew.
Yeah, so it's very interesting because if you look at it now, it's got a sizable number of views. It's over like 1 million. I think the full version is like at 2 point something million now. So it's kind of influenced Persona culture, right? If that makes sense. Because a lot of the newer games kind of reference the comic, but I would say more so because of the dub. I'm talking mainly about For Stake and all these kind of stuff. Like that wasn't in the original Persona 4, so it's kind of cool that we see these references. Do you feel like when you see that, you're like, wow, this is a part. I don't want to say this is a part of me, because then it sounds like the cheesy Persona summoning line. Because I think what's her name says that, Haru, when she summons her Persona. Anyway, so do you feel that you're kind of responsible, or your team were kind of responsible for that, like becoming part of Persona culture at this point?
I don't really. I feel like the artist was the reason for everything, and I thank her for like letting us like dub it. I think we helped spread the word about the comic, and I think maybe in turn that helped people like more people get into like Persona. Because I've seen comments, like at the time I had seen comments saying like, I didn't know about Persona 4, but this comic dub made me like purchase the game and stuff like that. I think we get a tiny bit of credit with all that, but I feel like it's mostly Hayam Daisy that created this.
I don't know why, but I was just expecting like a douchey answer, and you were like, yeah, hell yeah, man, it was just all of us.
I think no. No, I only do that as a joke, but like for things like that, I'm just like, I want to give credit where credit is due. Because there's a lot of people who like credit me as the artist, and I'm just like, no guys, it says in the video that I'm not the artist.
Fair enough. I also wanted to know, right, is there a favorite segment of the comic that you gets you every time laughing, and do you feel like there's a favorite part?
I think mixing Yukiko's dungeon scene was pretty fun to me, but that's because I liked hearing Chris's voice as Yukiko. Besides that, I don't think I have like a favorite scene. I think I don't even know if I like mentioned this before, but I know people have asked me like, man, how did you get through like mixing all of that like audio, without dying of laughter? And I was just like, it was actually like the complete opposite. Like I could not wait to like finish mixing things, because I'd have to listen to like the same like 5-second scene over and over and over and over and over again. And like by the time I was done mixing like one part, I was just sick of it.
Fair enough. I know how you mean, because obviously I edit all the episodes of this podcast, and at the beginning of the episode I said I hate hearing my own voice, but that's kind of for that same reason, just because I don't like listening to things over and over again. So I kind of relate to that. I kind of respect that as well. I don't know. For me, I would say my favorite scene is anything with Dejima in it, because Dejima just makes the dub like
everyone loves Dejima.
So great.
Josh,
you know what's
job.
about it? It's just the fact that he's just so aggressive. It's in a fun way.
He is. He's like the complete opposite in the game.
Yeah, it's just like that's the Dejima we want, but it's not the Dejima that we get. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, there's something about that. But you know what was a highlight for me, and I don't know if this was in the original comic, but I think it might have been a bloopers about the whole sausages thing. That was the funniest shit I've heard in my life.
Yeah, Josh was just weird. He sent that, and we were just like, I was like, okay, I'm gonna do something with this. I can't like not put it in there.
It's great shit, man. I can't deny that was amazing. That being said, we're gonna go on another ad break, and then we'll see you guys in about 5 minutes. So just hold on your horses, if that makes sense. That's not even proper English, but there you go. See you in a bit. At least I tried. I'm British, and I was born here, and I still can't speak English. After how many years? I hate my life. So see you guys on the other side. This episode of the podcast is brought to you by JList. Yes, that JList. Go and visit them for all your needs. If you need import games from Japan that you can only get in Japan, JList has it. Nendroids, JList got them. Anime merchandise, JList has it. JList has everything, including manga, gaming, anime merch, Japanese cosplay, homeware goods from Japan. I've even seen a kotatsu there as well. So JList literally has anything you want from Japan. It's on JList. You just need to type it in. They've even got adult goods. And if you're kind of afraid of buying that kind of stuff, they've got you covered literally and figuratively with their anonymous shipping service. So no one needs to know what's inside the boxes. They get put into like plain cardboard boxes. If you do want to support the show and everything that we do here on the podcast, make sure you go to www.getalivepodcast.com/JList and use the code GALP at checkout for 5% off your entire order. And you can keep on using that code again and again and again for all of your shopping on JList. And that code also includes pre-orders, so, just use it. Use it if you want that new Nico figurine, or if you wanted a nice pair of cat tights. I don't know what you buy, and I'm not judging. I personally use JList. I've used them before, and so if you want to learn more about JList, go to that episode of the podcast, check it out, see what it is. It's a pretty wholesome company. I really do love them, and I'm glad that they're sponsoring, and we wanted to go for sponsors that are very appropriate to the gaming and anime and Japanese culture in general. And we thought no one's better than JList at that. Yeah, we're not going to come up with some random sponsors that make no difference to you guys and stuff that you don't want to buy. Remember, go to getalivepodcast.com/JList. Use the code GALP at checkout for 5% off on everything in your basket, including pre-orders. Thank you, JList, for sponsoring this episode of the podcast. This episode of the podcast is also brought to you by X-Cut Studio. And you're like, whoa, Bish, this is a new sponsor. That's a bit odd. What are you talking about, X-Cut? I've never heard of them before. So X-Cut Studio is a small cross-disciplinary studio based in London. So they're a local studio to us, at least. They have over 6 years of design and rapid prototyping experience, including understanding of various methods of 3D printing, laser cutting, finishing, and traditional carpentry making. So you can go and check them out on their website, xcutstudio.com. Alternatively, you can go to getalivepodcast.com/xcut. It will take you directly to their website. I just want to give you a little bit of a briefing of why we've decided to go with Xcut as a sponsor of the podcast. So personally, I love laser cut stuff. Our business cards were laser cut. We used to do these little trinkets back in the day. We used to give them away at cons, like keychains and stuff like that, and we still want to do that. So we decided to partner up with X-Cut Studio. We love them. I'm sure they love us. If they don't, they'll tell us. But if you're really interested in making things, if you're really interested in 3D printing, laser cutting, they have a wonderful team. You can always go and contact them, send them your files. They'll give you a quote. They'll be like, okay, that's going to cost this much before you even start, so there's no hidden fees or charges. And if you also need help in terms of like fixing certain files, they'll do that as well for a small fee. They're pretty cool people. In addition to that, they also have an Etsy shop. You can go and check them out. Their Etsy shop is really cool. They've got a lot of gaming and anime themed stuff, earrings, postcards, really cool stuff. And they're adding more stuff every day. If you want more of a custom design or anything like that, you can always contact them and they could do that for you. I'm pretty sure they can do that. Obviously, all these things, they have a little fee associated with them. But I really do like X-Cut. The best thing about them is that they have really high quality printers and laser cutters. It's not going to be some janky gas laser cutter that has no ventilation. Everything is legit, everything's proper. I'll be honest with you, all of the prints that I've seen and all the cuts I've seen are perfect. really good quality. It also depends on your files as well. We're not going to get into it that much, but if you're a really big fan of making things, or if you are a person that likes to do stuff for conventions, and this is what the best thing about Xcut is that we've tested them out for our products and stuff that we are going to be selling soon on the podcast. If you go to conventions and you like to sell keychains of your own artwork, they can do that for you. They can set that up for you, once again, for a small fee. But even then, with £1 a minute laser cutting and etching, that's a no-brainer. That's quite cheap in comparison to the other places that can do it for you, especially within the UK. And remember, if you support Xcut, not only are you supporting a local business, you're also supporting the podcast as well. So remember, that's Xcut Studio. If you go to getalifepodcast.com/Xcut. Thanks, Xcut, for sponsoring this episode of the podcast. Okay, we are back, and all bad English aside, I want to talk about the real reason why you're here today on this episode. And the real reason why I actually asked you to come on this podcast, your music. How did that happen?
So at the time of me doing the Hi, I'm Daisy comic dub, I was also trying out singing. I wasn't very good at it, but I was just like, hey, maybe if I just keep doing it, I'll get better. So I had a separate account for like my covers at one point, but it no longer exists, obviously. But I just started like maybe around like 2009, I think. And then when the Hi, I'm Daisy dubs started building more traction, I was just like, maybe I should move my covers onto the dubbing channel. Since, I'm already dubbing, like I'm singing songs in English, that's basically me dubbing songs, right? So I combined them, and, I think it's thanks to people just being like, wow, we love your voice, like you should sing more, like just nice comments that got me into like continuing singing. And I eventually decided like, okay, I'm gonna try and like, get better at this. Persona 4 actually was the reason that I really got into singing, because for a while, like, I was so used to hearing like anime openings and like game songs with like, these soprano voices or these like cutesy voices, and I was just like, here I am with this like deep voice, and like there's no songs out there for me to cover. And it's just like, I don't think my voice is what people wanted. But then like I heard, the vocalists in 3 and 4, and I was just like, oh, so this is a thing like within this community. Like people actually dig like lower voices, that aren't like all cutesy and stuff. And that's kind of what inspired me to like start singing really seriously. And then of course when Persona 5, like when they revealed their vocalist and the opening, I was just like, whoa, like this is great. Like this, like I was so thrilled. Like I was just like, oh my god, I'm gonna sing so much. But obviously, Persona 4, like I love the soundtrack in that game, so I think the first song I did was Memories of You, but I was very eager to do Nevermore because as like a thank you to like fans and the series really. But yeah, that's kind of what got me to keep on singing, and like now here I am because of Persona.
It's very interesting because to be honest with you, like that's how I kind of started. Like I was typing in, I wanted to hear the original track for the original tracks for Persona 5 way back when, because obviously when you're playing the game, you're like, wow, this is amazing. And obviously I couldn't find anyone that put them online, and then I saw your covers, and I was just like, fuck, this is even better than the original music. And I was just like, shit, this is some good stuff. Like, honest to God, I just found it was like mesmerizing and kind of beautiful in a way. And it kind of reflected Persona as well, because music is a very important part of Persona, not in terms of the game production, but in the sense of the game and even how Personas are made. Because I'm not sure if you know this, in the original games, in Persona 1 and 2, there was another Velvet Room person, and her name was Belladonna. So you had a guy called Nameless that was playing the piano, and then you had a singer called Belladonna, and she, the music in the Velvet Room that plays?
Yeah, is that them?
Yeah, it's them. It's a guy playing and a woman singing. And the reason why they do that is because it helps with the fusion process. I know it's weird, but it kind of makes sense in a way. So hearing your voice and hearing the way you sing, yeah, right? It kind of gives me that vibe. It makes me feel like, wow, I am I'm a part of the Persona community because I'm listening. It sounds kind of weird when I say it out loud, but
I have granted you the power of Persona through voice.
it's weird like that. I don't want to sound like a weirdo because I know
You're
I'm going to sound
weird. No, I understand.
It's very difficult to explain. It's just the fact that the music in Persona is crafted in such a way to make you feel certain emotions. It's unlike any other music that I've seen ever. But the way that you take on those covers, you kind of make it your own. And I've noticed that because there's certain songs, right, that they're not like that in the original game. I can't remember. One of them comes up to mind. I think it's even Take Over, the new battle song.
Yeah, that was great. The consoles are awesome.
Made you think about doing it that way, like that musical style.
I didn't. So when someone I forget when the track was first leaked on YouTube, my friend Julian from the consoles, he was just like, so we're doing this, right? We're covering this song. Because we had worked on Heaven and what was it called? Moon's Reaching Out to the Stars from Persona 3 and 4. And I knew we were just yeah, we're definitely gonna work on some Persona 5 song, whenever those songs come out. And when we heard Takeover, he was just like, all right, I already know what we're doing. So he's the one who they're the ones that decided everything. And they sent over the track and I was just like, I love this. And I felt like I just knew what to do, which that's kind of how I feel every time I work on a song with them, the consoles. I don't know, anytime I cover a Persona song, I feel like I'm in my element, which is why I haven't really covered many songs from anime as of late. I just enjoy singing Persona songs. I don't know, it's just I don't know, I'm in my element. Something comes over me and I'm just yeah, I know what to do. I don't have to think.
It's very cool because, to be honest with you, like I said, I really like your covers and I can't say that enough. It's just interesting. There's something about it. I don't even want to get into it anymore, but you mentioned the consoles, right? What kind of relationship do you guys have? Do you have with them to obviously produce the music and stuff like that? Because it's not like you're singing over an existing track. They're actually producing the music, right? They're actually scoring this.
Yeah. They are gods. I don't know. They just poop out all this awesome stuff. And I'm just I don't really try and put my own ideas into it because it's just I trust whatever they come up with. They're just geniuses. So far everything's just been great. They'll sometimes they'll send me a little if they're for, let's just say for Takeover, he sent me a MIDI track. He was just this is essentially what we're trying to go for, something slow and funky. And I was okay, that's new. And then when they sent the finished track, I was just oh yeah, I feel the funk in this one. So yeah, they just, like I said, they just poop out good shit and I eat it and it's great.
It's interesting because looking at it, because this isn't music that you've necessarily created. Obviously you didn't compose this isn't original music from you. Do you ever find that it can be a bit difficult when you're posting on YouTube and indeed Spotify? Because I assume you're monetizing this. So how does that work? Do you get copyright takedowns and things? Because I'm always found that very interesting. How do you kind of work around that?
I don't. Maybe several years ago when it was a lot worse several years ago, just trying to upload anything. Because it wasn't even, I don't even think there was an option for monetization at the time. It was just if you upload something and we take it down, you get a strike. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. And so I think people would abuse that system, and I think my channel got suspended for maybe a week or something like that. And it happened to a lot of channels because some Russian artist copyrighted the word persona, and so they flagged every video containing the words persona in it. And of course, I had a lot of videos with persona in it, and they started getting copyright claims, and there was no time to dispute it because it was just happening in quick succession. And it was just like by the time the third one came in, like the third copyright came in, it was like too late. Like my channel had gotten suspended. So I had to go through like all this crap just to get it back. And like there was a little bit of controversy behind it. Like people were just like pissed off because it's just like, I don't know, it was very, it brought to light like YouTube's flaws, especially with copyright. But nowadays, now that monetization is an option, you can share revenue with the copyright holder, which is basically what happens anytime my video gets claimed. So rather than like blocking the video or like removing it and giving me a strike, they're just like, hey, the owner of this composition just is gonna take some money from that, and you get to have some money too if they feel like it. And usually they do. So I don't really have an issue with the Persona songs. It's the anime songs you gotta watch out for.
I would have assumed that Atlus, because obviously they're very protective around their IP. Once again, I can't stress that enough. I was kind of concerned that maybe they would have approached you and maybe sent you a cease and desist and say, hey.
Oh my god, if they did, I'd cry. But no, they never have.
Have you ever had like any sort of interaction with them? Were they like, hey, Sapphire, you're doing a great job, continue what you're doing? Because
I wish.
I mean, they obviously know your past works, I can imagine.
I mean,
they reference the dubs and stuff in the mainline game.
Maybe they reference the dubs, and maybe they just reference the comics and like never saw the comic dub. I don't know, it's not really something I think about. People have told me like, hey, they referenced you in like Persona 5, like this poster of like Rise, and like it was something about, I guess her new album is called like Sapphire or something like that, and they're just like, oh, they totally know about you. And I was just like, if they did, I would have already been approached to be a singer for Persona 6. So I don't think so, guys. Even though it's a nice thought, but it's just like, no, I don't think that's what happened. I think that was just a coincidence. But
I'll drop an email to Atlus and figure out where that reference is. Actually, probably I won't. I'm just trying to be nice.
Yeah, there's like a poster on the subways or something, or the
Rise poster.
Yeah. It said
that's
something
Rise,
about
right? Because I didn't know that was Rise to begin with.
Yes.
Okay, so that's a reference in itself, but probably not to you. I don't want to be that guy that's just like, hey, it's not your reference. It's
not mine.
Something else.
Yeah, I think it's just something else. But that would be cool if they were just like slowly hinting, like after all these years.
But don't you think it's a bit odd? Because you have quite a large following. I would have been, I'm surprised that they didn't even approach you or be like, hey, or like give you a retweet. Or, you know what I mean? Like, it seems a bit odd that they're just ignoring your existence.
Atlas West, I don't think needs to be doing any of that, because they're trying to keep the Japanese like producers and stuff like happy. So I think they're just trying to play it safe. So like I don't expect them to like retweet any of my covers or anything. I do think like at the time the Hi I'm Daisy dub was a thing. I think someone asked if it was like okay for this dub to exist, and they were just like, yeah, it's fine. I think it was like the issue with the music or something from the game being used in it, and they were just like, yeah, it's fine, as long as you're not making money off of it or something. And I think that was as close as I was gonna get to like Atlas West like noticing me. Yeah.
It's weird. I mean, it's interesting. Like I'm surprised that they didn't even shoot you an email or anything like that, because in my past experience with Atlas, they're pretty chill. Like they like talking to the people, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I don't know.
Atlas, if you're listening, send an email to Sapphire.
Oh my god, if they did, I'd be like,
they are going to listen to this, hopefully. I can't even remember the Fuuka and stuff. You know what? Like, I don't even want to open the whole Fuuka thing.
Are you saying that because like Atlas wants you to bleep those out? Are you saying that because you took offense to the Fuuka shame?
Look. I think maybe Atlas might have taken offense to it as well. Like, you're shitting all over their characters. Right. It's fine. It's okay. I don't want to get back into this, but I want to know another thing. Is there any characters within Persona 5 that you absolutely hate and you just don't like them at all? Because for me, it was Haru. I used to hate Haru before Persona 5 Royal. Like, Haru was She was so annoying. Like
I
everyone
didn't
was
think
like,
anything of her because like I was just like, why are you even here?
exactly.
We've only
she's
known you
so-
for like 5 seconds, and like suddenly like you're a big part of our team. But like I feel like they should have like fleshed out her story. Yeah, it's just like, I don't know what your deal is. Your dad owns Burger King, and that's all I know.
Haru is just so like, I hate her. Like, you know how you hate Fuuka and how you think Fuuka's annoying and boring? Haru is just even more boring. And what she does, like, all she does is like she does gardening. Is gardening cool, Sapphire? Do you think gardening is fun?
I don't care. Gardening is nice in Animal Crossing. I've learned to appreciate it in Animal Crossing.
It's a pain in the ass to check up on your vegetables in Persona.
I
Like,
can't say
what
I
do you
hate
get
her.
from it?
But I understand why people would just be like, don't care for her. Because I don't.
In Royal, however, I really do like her. She's just so, I don't know, she's just, there's a lot of changes with technical attacks and stuff like that in the game's mechanics, so it makes her moves a lot more useful. So Haru is permanently in my team from now on. She's just there all the time.
Wow.
I also like the fact that they introduced this new mechanic called Showtime attacks. You might have seen it. It's when they have this little cutscene with the special attacks, and I'm like, wow.
Oh, right. Those looked really cool.
They are cool, man. I like the ones with, like, the Haru one is good. The Makoto one, I think it's like a Fist of the North Star reference. And she's just like punching like millions of times. I like that. Like, and Makoto was another character that I hated in the original Persona 5. And it's not because I want to get back at you for the whole Fuuka thing. It's just because I just found her really annoying. Especially at the beginning, because, you know, when she's just, like, following you around, and you're like, can you get out of my business? Like, I just want to go and talk to my friends in the mall. Like, just fuck off. But in Royal, once again, she just becomes so... Obviously, I'm guessing it's because in the original game, I didn't do her social link. I didn't do her confidant. In Royal, I had more time to do that. So I kind of went in for the confidants that I weren't able to do in the base game. So I actually liked her story. I like the fact... Like, once again, she is a character that I relate to a lot. Having, obviously, your father dying and whatever, like, I kind of relate to that because that's happened to me. And it's like living in that shadow. She's a very interesting character nevertheless, and I think she is a badass. I was asking you if there was any characters that you hated, and I don't think you.
Yeah, you wanted to cycle through every character until you could hit a nerve with me, Fuuka Stan. No, no, I'm joking. Because there's such a small group of people that like Fuuka, I feel like.
It's just me and 3 other people.
Yeah.
Okay? But did you say who you hated? Because I can't even remember
now. I don't know if I hate anyone.
Oh, there has to be someone you hate. Come on.
I mean...
It's Akechi, isn't it? It's Akechi, right?
No, Akechi I wish, like, could have been... I wanted him to be a better villain. He did feel like another Adachi, and I was just like, whatever.
I will tell you, in the base game, yeah, he felt like he is Adachi. In Royal, oh my god, he's fucking scares me. Especially, he has new voice lines and stuff.
Nice.
And he's very sadistic. And he actually fucking scared... Because, you know, in the base game, you had a couple of scenes where his facial expressions changed, and he looked like a fucking criminal. You know, with his eyes wide open and shit.
Yeah, it's just like, there he is, like a typical Phoenix Wright villain.
In Royal, there's a lot more of that, and he kind of haunts me in my dreams sometimes. And I'm actually really scared, because you know how he changes his persona from Robin Hood to Loki, and he becomes all evil and shit, and all like dark costume and everything. He doesn't look like a member of ABBA anymore. He just looks like a crazy guy. But he kind of gets a lot more of that in Royal, and it's like, it fucking scares me. I can't have him on my team because he's just so angry all the time. And even if he's not angry, he's just such a like sarcastic bitch, but I love it. But it's just scary. I can't handle him. His voice lines, I don't know. There's a portion in Royal where you basically spend more time with him because he's his social link is optional now. It doesn't go with the story, so you actually have to go and approach Akechi. So you learn a lot more about him, but obviously you get to see a lot more of those scenes where he's kind of like fucked up, and it's so I kind of, like you, I didn't really enjoy I was gonna say Adachi. I didn't necessarily enjoy Akechi in the base game, but in Royal it's pretty cool.
Yeah, hopefully in this new life, in this new game, Royal, I'll try and like max my teammates' social links, because I didn't do it for any of the Phantom Thieves. Yeah, like there's this like whole Reaper or death gimmick. Like you could farm for like all this experience and like get an accessory that halves the amount of damage done to you. And like I got an accessory for everyone, and everyone was like overpowered. I was just like, there's no point.
But you get the new Persona designs.
Yeah, but I was just like, I don't need it. I can kill anything. It'll take like a... And I was just...
The Reaper still exists, but you can't do that. You're cheating the game, Sapphire. That's not how the game's supposed to be.
I mean,
you're fucking the system
clearly
here.
it is, because it's in the game. Is it in Royal still? Did they
No, they removed it. Well, the Reaper's still there, but you can't cheese the Reaper anymore. You can't do the exploit.
Oh,
because it is an exploit. It's not something you're supposed to do. So you know.
Well, I mean...
I don't want to burst your bubble here, but...
Hey, that's their fault.
Is their fault that you're exploiting the game?
I'm not. Hey, I just thought it was done on purpose. I was just like, is this like a meme or something? Like,
I mean, at first it kind of feels like that because you can only do it at certain conditions, certain times. Yeah, okay, I get you. Like, I'm on something.
Guess I'll play the game for real now.
You need. I would
No
say
more
everyone needs to play Royal, and I'm not saying this because Atlas gave me the game. I'm just saying this because
sure?
100%. 100%. I'm not paid by Atlas in any way. They just gave me the game to review.
Right.
But I'll be honest with you. The game is just great. There's no need to play 5. Don't bother with 5. Play Royal. Enjoy the game. Explore the new areas. Kichijoji's quite nice. New place. Fusions work slightly differently in the game. There's a lot of new shit. I do feel, though, that Kasumi is a bit meh at the beginning. I'm not going to say anything more about Kasumi, but she kind of looks like she was designed to be a female protagonist for the game, if that makes sense. She looks like that. She looks like a protagonist. She doesn't look like a, how do you say, like a team member. A lot of people are annoyed that Hifumi is not a team member, but they made Kasumi a new character like that.
Who's Hifumi?
What do you think about that? Hifumi is the girl in the church that plays shogi.
Why would they be upset about that?
Originally, Hifumi was supposed to be playable. She was supposed, well, not playable. She was supposed to be a party member, but they cut her from the game because.
Wait, she's like not in the game now?
No, she's in the game. I'm saying that she was supposed to. She had her own palace. In like beta and alpha stages, she had like her own. They were planning to give her her own palace and her own persona, and to make her a party member, but they actually cut that segment out of the game because they felt it would have been too long. So when Royal was coming out, people were thinking, oh, we're finally going to get Hifumi, and then you get Kasumi, and you're like, what the fuck? Like, what?
Their names rhyme? Close enough?
Kind of, but one is just like, oh, senpai. Like, she is very Risei in that sense, because that's another character that annoys me, Risei. What do you think about Risei?
I'm like whatever about Risei. It's just like, aw, you're rich. You're basically rich. I don't care. I think that's the same way I felt about Yukiko. It's just like, oh, you're gonna be able to own like your family's business. Like you already. But
she doesn't want to. That's the whole point
but
of Yukiko.
You don't have to worry about money anymore. While everyone else here is like struggling to pay rent.
What about Yosuke? Because you can say the same thing about Yosuke. His dad is literally like the store manager of Junes. Like he's literally the prince of Junes.
So I never really did say that I related to any of the main characters. I think it was just Nanako that I related to, and that was it. Other than that, I thought everyone was just kind of lazy. I don't know. Like I understand wanting to like live life your own way, but like I don't know, whenever like I heard Yukiko's story, I was just kind of like, really?
But Yukiko's story is literally the same as every other character.
Yeah, it's just
if you think about it,
you're born from money. Like, what's your
but so is Yosuke, so is Kanji, so is all the characters in the game.
And Nanako's the only poor one.
Nanako's dad is a police commissioner. He's getting a hefty $100,000 a year at least.
No.
Yeah, he is. He's
not in
getting
Japan.
money. He's making money. Trust me.
Yeah, and they live in that like rusty old house. I don't think so.
Maybe he likes the house. Maybe he likes the authentic feeling. Yeah, I don't know.
Poor thing.
You know,
Always having to wear the same outfit every day.
Her dad got her a T-shirt, okay?
And
like,
it said "beautiful baby boy" on it.
That's from the dub. That's not what
Oh, was it?
Says.
Oh no.
There was a platypus. They
what
sold
is
it on
real
insert
anymore?
coin.
What is dub?
We're in a position where we're in between dream and reality at this point.
I think it's canon.
What, the beautiful baby boy T-shirt? You should sell those T-shirts, by the way. I think you should.
No.
You're gonna get a lot of people buying them.
I think the artist should have, but like I would have bought it on the spot.
It's interesting, to be honest with you. But okay, cool. Nanako is the only one that is less privileged than the rest of them.
Not whiny.
But she's a kid. She's gonna become whiny. She's gonna be like the rest of them. She's gonna have a teenage phase.
She's a sweetheart. She knows what it's like to come from nothing.
Yeah, but you could say the same about Yu Narukami, because I'm pretty sure that he's not. Although he was living in Tokyo, so it's a weird one. I mean, you know what? You've gonna give me a new perspective on the game, and now I'm just gonna play it and just.
There you go.
Yeah, but you've ruined Persona 4 for me. Like, okay, cool. There's better characters. Okay, Nanako is great, but there's other characters out there that are also relatable, 100%. Like Chie. What about Chie? She doesn't come from like a rich family.
What was her issue again? Why? Because she didn't have a dungeon. She was part of Yukiko's dungeon, and oh yeah, what was her Shadow's issue? I want to be more like you, but I want to be. Oh wait, didn't she just want to be herself? She's just like, I don't know if it was like she was upset because she was always in Yukiko's shadow.
I think that's what it was, no? That she's just Yukiko's like.
No one knows I'm Chie. Everyone just calls me Yukiko's friend. Something like that.
Everyone calls her Yukiko's friend. She's Yukiko's handbag.
The Yukiko girl, or something about.
Are you talking shit about Chie?
Yeah. I think that was her issue. Like, she's just like, I'm always coming in to save your behind, you rich bitch. And I get no recognition for it or something like that.
I don't think that's what it is. I think you're twisting the actual story of P4.
I agree. Wait, now I have to look this up.
We're twisting the actual reality of Persona at this point.
We're not.
But
Hold
I think
on.
that. What do you mean we're not? I think that's.
Oh, wait. Here we go. That's right. I'm the one who can't do anything alone. I can't win as a girl, let alone as a person. I'm pathetic, but Yukiko, she depends on me. Oh yeah, just like that's why. Okay.
That Yukiko can't do shit without Chie.
She's like,
fucked.
Okay. So yeah, that's fine. She was the only one who wasn't like, I'm rich and I don't know what to do with all this money.
What about Teddy? He's not rich.
Teddy doesn't exist. He's not real.
What do you mean he's not real? He's real. Did you not see him dress up as Alice?
Not real.
That was a. Okay, that's up to you. It's next thing you know, you're gonna be like, Morgana's not real either. Okay, well, what do you think about Morgana? Morgana or Teddy? Who's your number one out of all those? I kind of.
I wish I didn't have to. I'd choose Morgana. Honestly, really? I wish
Morgana's
I didn't
fucking
choose
annoying.
Any of them because I don't like them.
Okay. Care to explain?
Oh, I don't know. Just Teddy was just very annoying.
Yeah, but that's the beauty of Teddy.
Yeah, the bear puns and the high-pitched voice. I was just like, I'm over it. Then Morgana was just like, I don't know, pervy.
Telling people to go to sleep.
Pervy cat. I was just like, I don't need this.
Yeah, but Teddy's
in this
also
video game.
Teddy's also a perv. Let's be real.
Yeah.
They're the same archetype. They're the exact same characters. One's just a bear and the other's a cat. I'm surprised that Morgana doesn't have more cat puns, but he hates being a cat, so you know.
But he stayed a cat in the end.
Ooh, that's interesting. I'm not gonna say anything else, but
well, I already know, like from the little clips. I won't. That was already spoiled, but that was because of Atlas. Atlas spoiled
Atlas spoiled it. It was written in a Famitsu article as well. They just showed a screenshot of Morgana as a guy, and I was like, what? was like, when are we going to see this? You see this literally at the end of the game.
I thought it was going to happen in Persona 5. I was just like, what will this beautiful boy look like? And then he was just a real cat. And I was like, okay.
I don't like him as a cat, though. I find it quite odd. Because he's technically, if you think about it, because he's created by Igor. So that makes him related to the other Velvet Room assistants. So he's basically Elizabeth's and Margaret's brother. If that, or sister, because we don't know the gender of Morgana, but isn't that weird that they're related to a cat?
Weirdos. Nothing makes sense to me. I need them to put together like this whole Persona lore thing, like a timeline or something.
You know, it gets very confusing because I got into the rabbit hole the other day and I was like, Igor, where does he come from? And then I realized, and I went back and I played Persona 1 and 2, and I realized the whole thing with the butterflies flying around, that isn't like Lavenza or anything. That's supposed to be a character called Philemon. And this Philemon guy is basically the guy who created Igor. He's like Igor's dad. He just doesn't, visit him or anything. Like, either way, it's weird because it's like we never see this guy past Persona 2, but he's always there in some way. Like, he doesn't get any voice lines or anything, but I found it odd. I genuinely found it odd. I don't want to get into Persona lore because you can spend days trying to figure out what is the story behind Persona and what is the meaning behind Persona and what does it truly mean to be yourself. And you can get all into that and you'll spend your whole life. I bet you there are people writing research papers on and dissertations on what is the true meaning of Persona.
Yikes. Research
I would imagine. It does happen. Like, there's a lot of journalists out there that will do that. And, if no one's going to do that, I'm going to do that. I'm going to dedicate my life's work to find out what it is. And I'll present it to Atlas. And then Atlas will be like, nope. And they just throw it away. And I'm like,
and they'll come out with their own stuff and be like, this is it. And it's just like, wait, none of this happened in any of the games.
But they'll make a way. They'll make a way. They'll release like a re-release of a game. Or they'll be like, hey, Persona Q is canon. Even though it's not. You know what I mean? Like, they'll do shit like that just to justify themselves, and that's how you know I'm not paid by Atlas, because I'm not kissing their ass. That being said,
who do I hate the most?
Oh, do we even answer that question? I was gonna end the episode.
And I was still trying to think about it. It's okay.
Shit, I was gonna end the episode. I think we're never gonna find out who your favorite character is.
Well, it was Fuuka all along, so.
Okay. I'm giving you a clap there.
I had answered it before you even asked.
You've redeemed yourself, Sapphire. I really think of you very highly, even more now because of the Fuuka thing. That being said, thank you very much for coming on. I really do appreciate it. It's been a pleasure.
It was fun.
Also, thank you for shitting all over my favorite character.
You're welcome. You're very welcome.
Wow. Okay, I thought you were going to apologize about it. Okay.
I don't apologize for being right.
Wow. Okay, I'm glad that this episode's ending. Yeah, thank you very much for coming on once again. Also, guys, if you want to check us out, make sure you subscribe to us on Spotify or on iTunes. In addition to that, we have a Twitter page at Get Alive Podcast. In addition to that, we also have a Discord page, and be sure to check out our sponsors, Japan Crate, J-List, and Crunchyroll. Links are in the description. Sapphire, you want to shout out any things that you have going on at the moment?
Oh my gosh, I just finished my Persona EP, The Velvet Lounge 2, like I mentioned in the beginning, but that is already out on Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, Google Play, YouTube Music, all those good stuff sites, so check it out. It's a lot of mostly Royal sound songs, but there's a little mixture of Persona 4 in there. But yeah, other than that, just check out my YouTube channel, Strawberry Cream 26, or just look for Sapphire. You'll probably find it, Sapphire Persona covers.
Cool. I'll put all the links in the description just so you guys can directly click on that and subscribe and all of that. Next week, hopefully, we'll be having an episode when we go more in depth into Persona 5 Royal. We won't be talking about spoilers, but if we do, I will bleep them out in addition to that. Once again, big thanks to Deep Silver and Atlas for providing us with review copies of the game. And yeah, I think that's been a great episode. Bye-bye.
Bye.